What's up, friends? Derrick Broze here. Just turned on my camera for the first time in a while, and it's a little dark here to do a walk and talk. My first walk and talk in 4 months. I got a lot to share about. I got my paper with my thoughts, and yeah, hope you're all doing well out there. Thanks to everybody who's been continuing to follow my work since the last time I did a walk and talk. You know, these are a bit more informal, personal. This is going to be a more personal video for those of you who are just here for the news. You probably want to just click past this one until the next video. I'm going to start producing content pretty soon, don't worry. I'm here in Texas, in the suburban wasteland of West Houston, visiting family for the rest of this week, this whole month, and then headed back to Mexico for pretty much the rest of this year, other than a couple of trips. And I've been I've taken a break from a lot of, well, I didn't intentionally take a break from doing walk and talks or anything like that. It just sort of naturally happened this way. That I've just been super busy. Like, I guess, why don't we start there? We'll just do a little catch up on what's happened, because my last walk and talk was all the way back in November. It was me talking about cannabis, taking a break from cannabis. I did take a break from cannabis, and I'm smoking a lot less cannabis these days, but I didn't quit for good. But I did take a nice break and have some important things come to the surface, and that was a good time. I'm grateful for it. That was the last walk and talk I did, and pretty much since then, I finished my time in Houston at the end of 2023, went back to Mexico early 2024. We had the Greater Reset 5. It was Greater Reset 5 manifestation, which was another amazing event. If you still haven't gone to our events, you need to come. Check out thegreaterreset.org to learn more about the Greater Reset. And at the Greater Reset this year, we announced that the event in Mexico is now going to be called the People's Reset in Morelia every January. The same time the World Economic Forum meets, we're going to be doing our thing for 5 days. Decentralization, localization, permaculture, growing food, spirituality, healing, mental, physical, spiritually, building parallel systems. And you can find all those talks. I haven't edited them all, but they're going to be posted on the Greater Reset Odyssey channel. I've posted day 1 so far. And we have now on that channel, and we will have even more once I'm done, over 180 hours of free solutions-focused content. I mean, where can you find anything like that? So check that out at thegreaterreset.org. Thank you to everybody who came. Then after that, pretty much a week after the Greater Reset, I flew to California, to San Francisco, for the fluoride lawsuit. I was out there for 16 days, and if you've been following my channels, you saw my reporting on that. Thanks to everybody who supported and who donated to that crowdfunding. And I produced, I think, 4 articles, did 16 interviews, did live streams, did a whole lot of content. I got to go on my biggest interview so far on Redacted News, which has like a couple of million subscribers on YouTube, and then Kim Iverson News, her channel for the first time. So that was cool, that my efforts to go out there to the fluoride lawsuit, and basically was the only journalist there besides one woman from Children's Health Defense, that put me in a position to get on some bigger channels. And that's one of the reasons why I did it. It's to get my face out there and get my name out there, get my work out there, and of course to make sure people knew what was going on with this whole fluoride lawsuit. And by the way, because I know some of you are curious, pretty much we're waiting for the judge's decision. It could come any day now, but I was told by a source yesterday that it probably won't come till mid-April, so we probably got a couple more weeks to go on that whole thing. But as soon as we get a decision from the judge, you can bet I will be doing a video and article all about it. And then after that, came back from California back to Mexico. I went to Costa Rica for 2 weeks for Envision Festival. I gave a couple of talks. You guys have probably seen those if you're following on my channels. And I encourage you to check those out. Those are some fun talks. I think some of my best ones so far this year. And then I went back to Mexico, and then drove to Texas, and then, excuse me, I got that a little mixed up. From Costa Rica, I went to Atlanta, where I was recently for the Next Steps conference. Did some talking, selling my books, and spreading the message there. And now I'm back in Texas, as I said, for the rest of this week. So I've been busy doing things, and one other thing I want to share with you guys that is new since I did a walk and talk is that The Last American Vagabond, Ryan Christian, myself, Taylor Hudak, Whitney Webb's a contributor, Robert and Lakesh, a few other people. We're under attack. In fact, I pretty much lost my job at T-Lab for now because Ryan found out that the IRS is trying to come after him, and we got hit with 2 bullshit, frivolous copyright lawsuits. So yeah, we did an interview about that recently. Hopefully you've seen that. But so I was notified that, Ryan can't pay me as much. I can't be contributing every week like I was before, so I've taken a few weeks off here, trying to get myself back on a regular groove. And, thankfully though, because once we announced this, a lot of you guys stepped up and started donating to me and donating to Ryan, because a lot of you might be the kind of people that watch my content. Maybe you've been watching for years and you've never donated, and that's fine. But this is a job. This does take hundreds of hours to do articles and documentaries and write books and things like that. And Ryan does, these freaking 3-4 hour podcasts, and I don't got time for that, but he goes deep, and we do it because we think this is valuable. But at the end of the day, if we can't survive doing it, we'll have to move on, and you won't have the information and the content that you want and you use to share and spread to other people. Hopefully that's what you're doing. So we've been navigating that, and we're going to survive through it. But just another reminder that independent media, this is the life of being a freelance investigative independent journalist that talks about things that people don't want to talk about in the mainstream. We don't always have a steady income, and it's not always there. So that's pretty much what I've been doing for the last 4 months, just to kind of catch you guys up. And on top of that, I will say I've been a little bit less than inspired to do this work. When I checked in with you back in December, and I mentioned that I was kind of dealing with a little bit of depression back in November, December, I feel the same way. Not that I've been depressed since November, December. There's been a lot of fun times in between there. But overall, I do feel like, I don't know, I just don't feel very inspired right now by this work. I love being at the fluoride lawsuit. I love doing the interviews. I love that. I love going to public speaking. I've got some new projects I'll share in a moment. And there's been so much going on in the world. Maybe that has something to do with part of me feeling uninspired and depressed. Like Israel, of course, ongoing genocide over there, and all the things. And also just maybe, not gonna lie, maybe a little bitter watching what David Icke in the last couple months has called the mainstream alternative media. Watching a lot of these personalities, like I'll say Tim Pool, let's just call him out, Luke Rudkowski, who is not what he used to be, and other people who are just content to kind of sit at the desk and talk about mainstream stories or clickbait or doom porn or division, and just, they're getting clicks, they're getting views, and they're getting money. And it's sad to see. And I don't think it's coming from a place of jealousy. It's more just frustration. So that's part of it, the frustration of feeling like, man, I know I bust my ass and I do my best to stick to the facts and report only what I can prove and all this kind of stuff. And there's people out there just making shit up, QAnon type stuff and doing whatever. And then you got other content creators who are just doing clickbait all these days. And so, not to sit here and gripe, but as I said, I've been a little depressed / not inspired. And that's part of why I haven't done walk and talks. And as I mentioned, T-Lab's under attack, so I haven't written an article in pretty much this whole month of March. I haven't written, which is, this is going to be the first time, if I don't write anything this week, first month I haven't written in 10 years at least, and that doesn't feel that great. I want to write. I want to feel inspired, and I'm going to tell you guys in a little bit some things I want to write about, and I would love to hear from you guys what you would like me to write about. But yeah, and let me just say this first before the comments come in. When I mention my depression periodically, because if I do these walk and talks, and many of you have asked me to do more of them, you say you enjoy them, you enjoy the sort of casual, free-flowing, spontaneous, candid format, and I do as well. I think this is very therapeutic for me, just walking around the suburbs with the camera in my hand like a crazy man. But I don't want your advice. When I tell you that I'm feeling depressed, I don't need people popping and saying, hey, Derrick, just take some psilocybin. Derrick, try ketamine. Derrick, take some MDMA. Guys, I know the benefit of these medicines. I've abused and used and respected them. I don't want to take anything for my depression. That includes psychotropics. That includes psilocybin. I like to take a trip every now and then, and I will take a trip. And if that helps me and feels a little better afterwards, great. But I don't want to take substances to deal with my shit. Even if it's a positive substance, you know, it's like, I don't want to do that. So please don't comment telling me that you have the perfect remedy for my depression and I just need to take this thing. Even neurotropics, like, that's cool. If you feel like you want to take something and it helps you, great. I want to learn how to conquer my depression without that. And it's been a lifelong struggle. That's one thing I will say too, is this isn't just a depression that pops up out of nowhere. I've been dealing with depression my whole life, pretty much since I was 5 or 6, 7 years old. The other thing I will say is I also don't want you to tell me don't preach to me. If I tell you that I'm feeling depressed, don't preach to me. That's happened a couple times in the last couple days, telling me I just need to follow Jesus and that's the missing ingredient to my life and that'll make me feel better. I appreciate if you have your beliefs. I've got my beliefs too. I never shove them on you. That's why you don't know what my beliefs are, because I don't talk about them except for people who meet me in person and in my very personal, very private, spiritual practice. I'm native, so you can kind of guess some of my beliefs, but I don't come up and say, hey, if you would just follow Wakantanka, the great mystery, then your life would be so much better. So I don't need you to come to me and say, Derrick, if you would just follow Christ our Lord and read this verse from the Bible, or Buddha, or Muhammad, or any religion. I'm not trying to just pick on the Christians, but I live in the US and that's what I run into mostly. I don't come and preach to you, so don't preach to me. So if you hear me mention my depression or any of my personal struggles, you know, like I said, this is therapeutic for me. So I choose to share this and I choose to put it out into the internet, and I know people are going to comment and say whatever they want, and there's always going to be trolls, but I'm just asking and I'm letting you know I don't want your advice about what I need to do to deal with my depression, and I also don't want your religion. It's just not what I'm looking for. I appreciate it. Thanks for your good intentions, and you know, see you in the afterlife. So I've just been dealing with that, and I'm not really going to get into it much further than that. I think I'm kind of coming out of it right now. Sometimes I just doubt my purpose. I just, you know, and the world's fucked up. It's hard not to feel crazy in this world. In fact, you know, what's the quote from Krishnamurti? You know, there's no measure of health to be well adjusted in a sick society. I really feel that, like, deeply. I feel that so deeply. Like, how could anybody not occasionally feel crazy in this world unless you're just living in some blissful ignorance? And I'm not very good at doing that. I'm not very good at being blissfully ignorant. But I also don't like to let myself get drowned in, like, oh, I'm so awake and aware and I'm fucking miserable. That's how some of you are out there, I think. And I'm not miserable, but I'm also not happy. I'll admit it. I have a lot to be grateful for, and I always constantly remind myself of that whenever I'm having these moments. Like, dude, you got an amazing woman, you've got land, you got a house, it's your work, you know, you got some money in the non-bank. There's a lot of amazing projects on the horizon. My work is growing. I'm going to be accomplishing my goals this year. There's so much to be grateful for, and I'm so grateful for it. And also, sometimes I don't feel great, so that's also why I haven't been producing much content. And I say that even though I've been releasing content every week, I feel like I've been slacking because I haven't been doing daily video reports and stuff like that. And I don't want to feed into the noise, but let's start heading back. Feed into the noise. Oh my God, squirrel. I don't want to feed into the noise, but I do also want to continue to bring you information that I think is important and valuable. So, and then the other thing, final thing I'll mention here in terms of what's happened recently, I just got over, and I'm gonna put this in air quotes, a stomach flu or a stomach bug. I don't know what you guys want to call it, but it fucked me up for the last 5 days, man. I was, using the bathroom, puked a couple times, haven't been able to hold down any food until today. So if I look a little more thin than usual, that's probably why. And overall, just been feeling like crap because of that. And I did all the natural remedies. I did, everything from like a herbal drink that a friend recommended, which was very helpful. I did activated charcoal, did all kinds of stuff, and I just kind of wrote it out. And I say jokingly putting it in air quotes, because I know if I say I got a stomach bug or stomach flu, somebody's gonna say, Derrick, there's no viruses and there's no that. And it's like, I get it. I'm not even, I'm not a shill for the freaking allopathic system, but I did decide to look. I looked up on the CIA Google and said, hey, let me just search like stomach bug and see what's going on. And sure enough, the media is reporting over the last few months, and I never heard of this, so you can't say I had the fear thought planted in my mind and that's why I got sick or something. I'm sure you will though. But apparently, yeah, there's something, they claim something going around, again in air quotes. I don't know. I got sick, my stepdad got sick, but Miriam, who I sleep with in a bed next to, she didn't get sick, my mom didn't get sick. So who knows what, but all I know is it fucked me up, drained me. I lost 10 pounds, gained a few back, and today's the first day that I'm actually able to eat, which is why I'm doing this walk and talk with you guys, and I'm feeling much better now. Does anybody know what movie's that from? If you can guess what movie's that from, I'm feeling much better now. I will send you a free copy of my book, How to Opt Out of the Technocratic State. It just keeps coming to mind every time. Sorry. So let's talk about what's coming next. Now that I've filled you guys in for the last 17 minutes, hopefully you're still with me. Like I said, this video is just more personal. I just need to get it out of my head. These videos are very therapeutic for me, and I'm just walking around the neighborhood enjoying the sunset, as you can see behind me, and I'm gonna post this up tonight and let you guys listen in and see what you think. But let's talk about what's coming up next. The things I am working on. I'm working on the Pyramid of Power. We are so close, so close, so close to being done with the Pyramid of Power. If you're unfamiliar, check out thepyramidofpower.net. This is my 17-part documentary series, and I want to mention 2 things about this. First of all, if you've been following along, you know that in the last month, we launched a crowdfunding campaign. We're trying to raise $10,000 to finish the Pyramid of Power, which is honestly not a lot. I'm paying my new editor, Stefano, $2,500 per episode. We have 4 episodes left. He's working on chapter 14 right now, the false flag deception. I'm hoping it'll be out within 2 weeks in mid-April. And then we have false flag deception, we got the pedo class, and we got religion and secret societies. And in the final episode, the chapter 17, who or what is at the top of the pyramid. So that's 4 episodes, and I'm trying to pay him at minimum $2,500 per episode. And I don't have that kind of money myself, guys. I don't have 10K myself, but you guys seem to enjoy it and seem to like sharing it and want me to continue. So if you can donate, check it out at theconsciousresistance.com. You can see, if you just search the Pyramid of Power, you'll see it. Or I think it's like fundraiser.com/POP 2024. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, so, and I mean, that's such a small amount of money for the work that my editors do. And by the way, that's not me. I'm not paying myself anything. I'm just doing hundreds of hours of research and writing these scripts and then narrating them because I find this to be valuable. And my hope and my prayer is that once I'm done and we start turning these into DVDs and putting them out on USBs, I might actually make some money back. But in the end, it's the internet. I don't expect to get rich off this. What I expect and what I want is for this documentary series to outlive me. I've already had people tell me that they've used it to homeschool their children and to share with their families, because the Pyramid of Power, each episode is like, 30 minutes or less, and that's pretty digestible. It's like a Netflix episode or something for many people. So their friends aren't going to watch like a 3-hour documentary. But if you say, hey man, come on, this video is only 25 minutes. I promise you it's not Alex Jones. It's not all scary or whatever. And it's not just conspiracy theories, because my work is facts, because we have enough of the truth. We don't got to speculate. And they get them to watch. Guess what? it opens their mind. So this is a tool to wake people up. So the pyramidofpower.net, we're almost done. We will be done by next year, the final 4 episodes. That's being realistic. If we get this out in April, get another one out by June, then August, maybe late this year we could finish it. But at the more realistic, I would say early 2025, this whole series will be totally done. 17 episodes available for free. We've got already 13 episodes available for free at thepyramidofpower.net. So you can already watch those and check those out. You don't even have to pay for that. You just go to the website and all 13 episodes are already there, just chilling, waiting for you to watch, to download. We've got the audio versions. There's so much available. And thank you to everybody who has donated. If you can donate, it will go a long way to paying my editors so we can finish this series. Because otherwise, honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to finish it, or at least it's going to take a lot longer. And I won't be able to finish it on that timetable I just mentioned. So the other thing I'm working on, my other big project for this year, is a book about the fluoride lawsuit. Since I've been investigating, following the story since 2020, I've now interviewed 3 of the expert witnesses in the lawsuit. The lead attorney, Michael Connett, one of the plaintiffs, Brenda, she's a mother, and her son, Co, who are involved in the lawsuit as plaintiffs. I'm going to tell the story, or at least I'm going to try to. And what I'm excited about this book isn't going to be, so far I've written 5 books. My first 3 books, the Conscious Resistance Trilogy, are political, philosophy, spirituality, kind of mixed. And then my 4th book after that was the Holistic Self-Assessment. That's like a self-help book, which I think is one of my best, and most of you have never heard of it. It's called the Holistic Self-Assessment. I encourage you to check it out. And then the other one is, of course, my book, How to Opt Out of the Technocratic State. And that's part philosophy, part like guide and things like that. Now, what I'm excited to do this fluoride book is because it's not just going to be a facts like, hey, on this day they went to court and the judge said this and that. I'm going to try to write it like a narrative, sort of true crime style. So it's going to be like telling the story of the people, not just like the facts of the lawsuit, but what motivates a mother to fight in court to prove that fluoride's a neurotoxin, and what motivated this lawyer, Michael Connett, and his family, Paul Connett, Ellen Connett, his mother and father, to fight this fight against water fluoridation. And hopefully, if it works the way I want it to, it'll be exciting, because the cool thing about true crime is it's sort of like, it's written in a fiction style, so it reads like a fiction novel, but it's also, obviously it's factual, it's not fake, it's real life. And the best true crime novels, I think, do that in a really powerful way, where you tell a real life story, but you do it in that narrative style that's engrossing, and it's a page turner and all that good shit. And I've never written that way. I didn't go to school for writing, and I haven't taken any fiction writing classes. I just love to write. This is what I do, and I like to challenge myself. So I'm putting it out there into the ether now. I am working on this book, and if everything goes well, I'm going to be putting a proposal into a publishing company very soon, and if they approve of it, which I believe they will, then I will get an advance in order to write this book. And of course, as I said earlier, we're waiting on the decision from the judge. So that's the other big thing I'm going to be working on this year, and hope to complete towards the end of this year and then release ASAP. And and then the other thing I want to mention, I do want to start getting back to writing probably next week once I'm back in Mexico. Just take the rest of this month off while I'm chilling here in Texas with my family. And I want to know, what would you like me to investigate? What would you like me to focus on? With the understanding, you can suggest anything and I'll consider it, but take into consideration the kind of work I do, for those who know. I focus on digital identities, the danger of that. I've been warning about that for years. Facial recognition, digital surveillance technology, the Internet of Things, the Internet of Bodies, the Internet of Bio-Nano Things, the Metaverse, ritual abuse, things like the Finders, Utah. And there's some other stories I'm already got in my mind, and some of you have reached out to me, but like I said, I'm totally open to just a brand new topic. But those are the topics that I'm most familiar with and that I have the most experience with, and I plan to do more of that. So exploring the growth, the rapid advancement of digital IDs, facial recognition in the United States and around the world, the Internet of Things, the Internet of Bio-Nano Things, the Metaverse, ritual abuse, cults, just general government corruption, things like that. So let me know what you guys think, and comment below. I'm happy to see if, you know, if I can follow up on your interest. You can also email me at derrick@theconsciousresistance.com. And yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end it, guys. I just want to say thank you to everybody who continues to follow me. If you're only following me on the video platforms, which would be Odyssey, BitChute, or YouTube, then I encourage you to follow me somewhere else too, if you want to get more of these kind of personal thoughts from me. So for example, if you follow me on Substack, Facebook, Telegram, I can post videos, articles, and sometimes personal thoughts. Mainly I post my personal thoughts on Facebook and Telegram, and occasionally Twitter. But if you don't care about any of that, then just follow me on wherever you're following me on. I will say, if you're only following me on Instagram, stuff like that, you're gonna get the least of my content, although I am trying to create more content specifically for Instagram. But yeah, and if you're watching this live on Instagram, it's gonna disappear once it's over, but I will post this on my website at theconsciousresistance.com, where I post all of my content. And in fact, at theconsciousresistance.com, you can find a whole page dedicated to all of my walk and talks. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little therapy session. Please don't give me advice. Please don't preach to me. And let me know what you want me to investigate. Until next time, remember, you are powerful, you are beautiful, and you are free. Stay safe out there, man. It's rough.